Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be doing my presentation titled Sex Swelling Doesn't Triggers No Time to Relax. I am from Dr. RP Center of Ophthalmic Sciences, AIMS, New Delhi, India, under the chief guidance of my faculty, Professor Neelam Puskar. No financial disclosures. The first case is a 25-year-old lady who presented to our general OPD and was referred to oculoplastic clinic. She had a swelling in left medial canthus for last 1 year, which was gradually in onset, progressive from pea size to the current size as shown in the picture. There was occasional pain, itching, but there was no history of epiphora, epistaxis, or hemolacrimia. There was no discharge, trauma, recurrent sinusitis, drug intake, radiation history, weight loss, or loss of appetite. On examination, we can see a well-defined firm swelling approximately 2 into 3 centimeter in the left medial canthal area, which regular margins and hyperpigmentation of the overlying skin can be seen. It was non-tender and not fixed to the underlying structures. There was associated globe dystopia, 4 mm temporal and 2 mm superior. On worm's eye view, there was no proptosis, and on left lateral view also there was no proptosis seen. On syringing and probing, hard stop was felt at 14 mm and saline passed freely to the throat from both puncta. So the lacrimal system was patent. The case 2 is a history of 33-year-old lady who was referred from our general OPD to oculoplastic clinic. She had a swelling over left medial canthus for last 9 months, which was gradually in onset, progressive in size, with occasional epiphora, but there was no history of epistaxis or hemolacrimia. There was no discharge, trauma, recurrent sinusitis, drug intake, radiation, weight loss, or loss of appetite. On examination, she revealed a well-defined firm swelling inferior-medially with regular margins, superior temporal globe dystopia, overlying skin normal. There was no discharge, non-tender, no fixed to underlying structures, and there was no proptosis seen. On syringing and probing, left eye upper puncta showed a hard stop at 14 mm and saline passed freely to the throat, but lower puncta showed a soft stop at 6 mm and saline regurgitation from same puncta was seen. Lacrimal system left lower proximal canalicular block was noted. So based on the history and examination, we can think of differences like due to medial cancer swelling, age being middle-aged, no history of trauma. Chronic dacrocystitis can be one of the differentials, but there was no history of watering, regurgitation was negative, and the swelling was not recurrent. So it cannot be a chronic dacrocystitis. Mucocell can be suspected being a medial cancer swelling, but there was no watering, transillumination test was negative, and the lacrimal system was patent. So we sent routine blood investigations, complete hemogram, peripheral smear, liver and renal function test, coagulation profiles, paranasal sinus X-ray, viral markers, all of which were within normal limits. So a contrast enhanced CT orbit was sent. On systemic examination, there was no evidence of lymphadenopathy or organomegaly. In case 1 on CCT orbit revealed a homogeneously hyperdense mass which was well circumscribed, and scalloping of the left lacrimal fossa was seen, which was abutting the inferior nasal globe and was extending into the proximal nasolacrimal duct, as can be seen in these pictures. Case 2 showed a heterogeneous iso to hyperdense mass well circumscribed in the left lacrimal sac region, and there was no obvious bony destruction. So we can think of differences like dermoid or epidermoid cyst, squamous papilloma, or lymphoma. But lymphoma was ruled out since she's a young age female. Both were young age females. There was no lymphadenopathy, no systemic signs, and the peripheral smear was normal. Dermoid cyst with hemorrhage can be one of the differentials, but there was no sudden increase in size, and imaging showed lesion with solid consistency. So we decided to make a provisional diagnosis of lacrimal sac or perisac tumor, and further evaluation was sent for ENT consultation. But on ENT consultation, there was no deviated nasal septum, no polyps were seen, and bilateral turbinates were within normal limits. Management plan of excision biopsy plus dacrocystectomy or dacrocystolinostomy based on the intra-op assessment was planned, and both patients underwent surgical excision with dacrocystectomy. Histopath of the first case revealed encapsulated firm mass arising from the lacrimal sac region, and histopath shows spindle cell proliferation in patternless architecture with few mitotic figures. Staghorn vessels were noted in the histopath. Immunohistochemistry was positive for CD34 and STAT6. So the final diagnosis of solitary fibrous tumor of lacrimal sac was made in case 1. Case 2 showed a histopath of interlacing bundle of spindle cells with wavy nuclei, and immunohistochemistry was positive for SOX10 with focal positivity for S100. And a final diagnosis of neurofibroma of lacrimal sac was made in second case. So the case summary of both patients were young or middle-aged women with painless medial canthal swelling. Epiphora was absent, so not classical of a nasolacrimal duct presentation. Imaging showed well-defined sac or perisac masses. There was no frank destruction. And final diagnosis of case 1 was SFT and case 2 was neurofibroma. Lacrimal sac tumors are very rare compared to other orbital or adnexal lesions. Total of around 650 to 700 cases has been reported only till now in the worldwide. And it can be primary, which is the most common. It can be secondary invading from other structures, or it can be mets. Overall, 70% cases of the lacrimal sac tumor that has been reported are malignant and 30% are benign. Histologically, it can be epithelial, which is the most common. It can be mesenchymal, hematolymphoid, or melanocytic. SFT tumors are mesenchymal fibroblastic tumors, which are very rare in the lacrimal sac, part of the spectrum within hemangiopericytomas. Often seen in the younger adults, clinically firm, slow-growing masses causing dystopia. It may or may not cause severe epiphora. Imaging shows well-defined mass causing bone scalloping rather than destruction, and the management plan is complete excision with DCT or DCR depending on the intraop assessment. Long-term follow-up is essential to look for recurrences. Neurofibromas are peripheral nerve sheath tumors which are non-epithelial. Benign tumors, they are extremely rare location in the lacrimal sac solitary lesion. They are the part of NF1 spectrum, so systemic screening should be done. They are clinically firm, non-tender swelling in sac area, and often no marked epiphora is seen. Treatment is similar, complete surgical excision, and excellent prognosis is noted if full excision is done. So on comparison of SFT, neurofibroma and mucocele, origin of SFT is mesenchymal fibroblastic, origin of neurofibroma is peripheral nerve sheath tumor, and mucocele is the obstructed sac with mucus inside. Consistency of SFT is firm, neurofibroma is also a firm consistency, and mucocele can be soft or fluctuant in nature. Epiphora is usually absent or mild in SFT, minimal in neurofibroma, and usually epiphora is present in mucocele. Bony changes, as you have discussed, SFT shows bone scalloping, but there is no bony destruction. Neurofibroma also there is no bony destruction. And in mucocele, we can see pressure changes, but there is no bony destruction seen. On imaging, SFT showed a solid, well-defined mass, as similar in neurofibroma, but mucocele will show cystic masses with fluid density inside. Treatment is same for SFT and neurofibroma, complete excision plus DCT or DCR, and for mucocele, it's decholcystolinostomy after infection is subsided. Prognosis is excellent for all the three cases. So the takeaway points from these cases are every medial canthal swelling should not be labeled as nasolacrimal duct obstruction. Epiphora may be absent in lacrimal sac tumors. The red flag signs that you have to look for in lacrimal sac swellings are hemolacrimia, a very short duration of swelling, and any bony destruction seen on imaging. Always, atypical cases should be imaged before planning surgery. Blind DCR should not be done. If there are red flag signs, it should be inspected. SFT and neurofibromas are rare but important differences, and early diagnosis preserves cosmesis and function of the lacrimal system. These were my references. Thank you.